What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Fantasy Feud. It's me and Mason. Paul is still out with the sickness. Everyone wished that he gets better soon. He had the same sickness that I had that kept me out for an episode, so hopefully he is better and ready for you guys to make videos again here soon. But before we get into today's video, if you like it, please leave a like, comment down below who your tough flex choices of the week are, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed today's video. We post fantasy content each and every single day and breaking news and other stuff like that, anything NFL related pretty much. So if you enjoy the video, please leave a subscription. It helps us out a lot. But without further ado, we're going to jump straight into things today for our Flex Friday. And this is pretty much just tough decisions that you have to make in your flex positions, people that have been down, people that have been up, who knows, just someone that you got to put in that flex position you're on the fence about. We take two people and we place them up against one another. And our first pairing is Courtland Sutton playing against Detroit versus AMON-RA St. Brown, who's playing Denver. They're playing against one another. So, Mason, who would you take in this matchup of Sutton versus AMON-RA?
Oh, well, let's see here. I have some bias. I do like AMON-RA St. Brown better. Courtland Sutton used to be my dude, and this year he is making me sad. I don't think it's really his fault. I think it's a coaching scheme. I think it's just Teddy Bridgewater doesn't. He's just not the greatest quarterback to spread the ball out to that super talented offense. They've got so many pieces. And Courtland Sutton, I don't know if it's just he's coming off from a bad year from that injury or what. But Detroit's hot. They just got their first win.
Is that what constitutes as hot for Detroit? Detroit's hot,
yes.
Baby. They gotta win.
They're 1-10 and 1. I'm going AMON-RA St. Brown. I don't have any real other reason other than that I think he could quite honestly be Jared Goff's number one target, and he's got to have a crap ton of confidence getting that game-winning touchdown last week. So there's that.
All right, and yeah, I'm gonna probably get into Courtland Sutton honestly as my star. I don't know, man. He hasn't had in the last 5 games any more than like 2 receptions, which is obviously terrifying as a fantasy owner. But he started the year off so well, and it's not Courtland Sutton. We all know it's not Courtland Sutton. We know who it is. It's Teddy Bridgewater. That's the problem there in Denver. Courtland Sutton, man, he's got to have a bounce back sometime. And Detroit's got to be it, right? It's got to be it. Like, it's just like the perfect matchup for him to get that get-right game. I think if you're deciding whether putting him in the flex or not, I think he's definitely an option, and I think you're going to have to kind of lean towards him. Me and Mason both have Sutton and AMON-RA, so we're going to have to like hash things out a little bit and figure that out probably if Keenan Allen doesn't play for us. So it's a tough one, and we're kind of conflicted right now, so those are our 2 cents on the opinions. We're going to go into the second 1v1. We have OBJ versus Arizona and Rashod Bateman versus Cleveland. I will let Mason start with this one since he's the Rams fan, and we all know who he's going to pick.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys remember. I wasn't like too psyched about OBJ leaving Cleveland and bouncing around the way he did, and I was really shocked to see him go to the Rams. So when that happened, when Robert Woods went down, I'm like, okay, he has an obvious chance to step in and fill in a role. But the 2 main guys there right now are Cooper Kupp and Van Jefferson. Those are my boys. They're ballers. They've got great chemistry with Stafford right now. That being said, OBJ is a veteran. He is a baller, or he's kind of like a has-been baller. But in the last 2 games, he's had 7 catches, 15 targets, 100 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I think as the chemistry goes on and gets better with the whole offense, and as he learns the playbook, I think his role is going to improve. I think he has a chance to. Against the Cardinals, it's going to be tough. That's going to be. I hope it's a shootout. To be honest, if I'm being honest with you guys, I think he's going to have about 8 targets, 4 or 5 catches, 70 to 80 yards, and a touchdown. So I'm going to go with OBJ.
All right, so I am not the biggest fan of OBJ. I know he's had a couple of pretty solid stat lines for the Rams, but I mean they're both kind of bloated in my opinion. The last game he played was against Jacksonville, and they were blowing him out, and he got a garbage time touchdown, the only reason he had fantasy relevance. And against Green Bay with his 10 targets, he had a 60-yard touchdown, and that was pretty much all of his fantasy relevance right there. So I'm not the biggest fan of him, especially playing Arizona, but obviously Rashod Bateman's an impossible one to start right now because his targets have been just going down 8-8, 6-4, and 0 last week. I don't think it gets much worse. I don't think he can lose any more targets than what he had last week at a whopping 0 targets. I like Rashod Bateman against Cleveland. Last time he played him, he didn't do anything crazy. He had 7 fantasy points, but I think Rashod Bateman will get targets again, and I think he will be fantasy relevant again. It's a matter of time before Lamar Jackson's fantasy relevant again, because we all know what that guy can do. He has his tough stretches, but he will be back. We all know it, and when he is back, I think Rashod Bateman's going to get a nice little... I think he's going to get a nice piece of it. Him and Hollywood Brown are both going to improve their stat lines here.
Well, if anyone has Baltimore's number besides Miami, it's Cleveland. They made Lamar throw 4 picks. Myles Garrett gets after him. I said this in a video previously. They have the chance to make Lamar struggle, and that scares me because when Lamar struggles, it's basically just Mark Andrews in Lamar Jackson's rushing game and then the other running backs. So that's why I'm scared of that. But don't get me wrong, I do like Rashod. I like his talent. I like his upside.
All right. We're going to move right into the next one. We have Hubbard playing against Atlanta and Ty Johnson versus New Orleans. I'm going to just keep mine short and simple here. I think Hubbard is the easy start here over Ty Johnson. I think Atlanta gives up just 1 million points to the running back position this year. Obviously, that's not correct. It's like 23 points per game. And then the Saints allow the least amount of fantasy points to the running back position. So I think it's kind of a no-brainer. I'm going to take Hubbard over Ty Johnson any day of the week. But Ty Johnson deserves a little bit of respect because Tevin Coleman's out with the concussion. So he is now pretty much all they got there besides the Walter guy that I can't remember his first name.
Yeah. No, like Stone said, Ty Johnson's getting the lead back on this game against the New Orleans Saints. And that leads us to make this is a decision right now. Chuba Hubbard is in an offense that is struggling. They're struggling bad. They're not doing well. Atlanta, they're not the greatest team in the world. Chuba Hubbard has had a success while Christian McCaffrey's been out. And Ty Johnson has proven to be a good wide receiver, a receiving back this year. Throwing it up, the safe start is Chuba Hubbard, like Stone picked. But I'm going to go Ty Johnson. I'm going to say he gets around 5 catches this week. I bet he has a little over 50 rushing yards. I bet he has a touchdown too. So yeah, let's go ahead. I'm going Ty Johnson this week, baby.
I don't think me and Mason are going to agree on a single pick this week. We haven't agreed on one yet.
We're not.
So I guess moving into Jamal Williams versus Tyler Boyd, I'm going to guess that we don't agree on this one either because I think Mason's going to pick Jamal Williams and I'm going to pick Tyler Boyd in this matchup.
We might agree on this one. We might agree.
Okay. Well, you got Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins. If he doesn't play because he's been questionable all week, then Boyd is going to have to step up and be the man there. He's playing against San Francisco. They've been a pretty tough defense as of recent, and I think Tyler Boyd's going to play... I don't know, he's very up and down, but without T. Higgins, I think it's a pretty easy choice to make. Tyler Boyd's... he's been a stud for the Cincinnati Bengals the last 2 years, and he hasn't done an insane amount of work for them this year, but he's still been very valuable and a great receiver for them. So, and I guess to argue against Jamal Williams, he's been the lead back for a couple weeks now in his fantasy roles. I believe we're 13 points and 9 points. And the 9 points coming against Minnesota. So I'm just not a big fan of that. And I think that Tyler Boyd has a little more upside at the receiver position just because of T. Higgins' injury.
I think as a DeAndre Swift owner, when you have Jamal Williams, you almost have to start him. But if you're in that situation where you snag Jamal Williams off the waiver wire because some idiot dropped him the week DeAndre Swift got hurt, I'm raising my hand. I'm that idiot.
I dropped him 2 weeks before it, so I'll raise my hand.
Then you have a running back right now that you have the opportunity to start possibly in a flex position. And this is where this comes from. That's why we have this up here. I do like Jamal Williams, except Denver is a stout defense. They're tough. They're going to make it hard to run the ball. They're going to be passing a lot. Detroit's going to be first to throw the ball all day to AMON-RA St. Brown, baby. Let's go. San Francisco has definitely stepped up their defense here lately. Joe Burrow is practicing. They're saying his finger is normal. They're saying everything's good. But that being said, the only way I'm starting Tyler Boyd this week is if T. Higgins does not play. So that's where I'll get with you. I will start Tyler Boyd if T. Higgins, I'm paying attention on Sunday. I'll start Tyler Boyd if T. Higgins doesn't play. or I'm playing it safe. I'm putting Jamal Williams in against Denver.
I think we can finally come to agreement there. That is the exact same case that I'm playing here.
Yeah.
T. Higgins plays, Tyler Boyd's going to my bench because he's been doing every other week type fantasy points, and this would be his other week where he doesn't do good. So I'm staying away from him if Higgins doesn't play. Jamal Williams is the safe one that'll probably get you 10 points. Going into our last matchup, we have Devonta Freeman versus James Robinson. I feel like this is probably the most interesting one because they are both good running backs who have been producing solid numbers. James Robinson has been down as of recent. Devonta Freeman has been up as of recent. But I am not scared of James Robinson. He didn't practice this week. He's had a little bit of an injury problem, but I think he's going to be playing. But he has been pretty much in the doghouse of the coaches, and I will speak to that.
Why?
The coaches are terrible in Jacksonville. That would be the only reason why. I don't get it. But Trevor Lawrence came out.
I want to pull my hair out.
Trevor Lawrence came out because he isn't afraid to, talk against the grain of what his organization's doing. And he pretty much just said, I don't understand how James Robinson isn't out there more. He's like, he's one of our best players. It doesn't make sense to me. And I completely agree, Trevor. But, Trevor's, they're supposed to be their future. He's their quarterback. He's their guy there. And if he's complaining that someone's not in the field, because I don't blame him. Why would the guy want Carlos Hyde on the field? I want James Robinson out there.
James Robinson is such a stud. I mean, obviously, we don't know what goes on a day-to-day basis in the facility of operations, but it's just like, come on, guys. You guys, this guy produces. Yeah, he's hurt. He's questionable with the heel, with the knee. Maybe that's why he's not getting touches right now. He has that opportunity to not play this week. So if he doesn't play, we're throwing in Devonta Freeman. But Devonta Freeman, guys, since week 6, he averages 12 fantasy points per game. That's pretty solid. I'll take that in my flex position. My flex Friday, baby. But against last time he played Cleveland, he scored 6.5 points. I don't like that. It's not terrible. It's not the end of the world, but it's not going to assure us a win. Another stat we got, he averages 14 carries and 54 yards over the last 4 games. So right now, based off of how bad Jacksonville's coaching staff is and James Robinson's injury, I'm going Devonta Freeman against Cleveland, even though it's going to be a super tough matchup. I do love Jay Robinson. Don't give that any slack. The dude can go out there and get 20 any given week, though.
I'm going James Robinson because Trevor Lawrence, when he came out, he said that he addressed that with the coaching staff, and there's going to be changes made pretty much. So I expect James Robinson to have a big game this week. I expect him to be completely utilized. I mean, you even see it like in these games where he's like getting like benched for 20 straight plays. They'll show the stat of James Robinson's yards versus the entire offense, and he'll still have more yards than the entire offense. It's just like, how could he possibly not be playing, man? I get
it now. Urban Meyer's jealous.
He's
Urban
jealous.
Meyer's
it's
jealous.
Not his running back.
It's not his offense. Like James Robinson just goes out there and he just makes stuff happen himself.
Yep.
Whereas Urban Meyer's like, I gotta make this awesome offense with this quarterback. It's the best quarterback prospect of all time. Blah blah blah.
Or
whatever.
Or you just run the football and let James Robinson rip it for 6 yards every single play. That's a pretty good strategy.
And give your guys a chance to win.
I'm starting James Robinson. Mason's probably going safe with the Freeman pick. I think Robinson's going to have a big game this week. I think he's going to bounce back very big. But that's all we got today for the Flex Friday. If you guys had any, differing opinions from us, go ahead and let us know in the comments. We are more than willing to talk to you guys about what we think about these specific picks and stuff like that. If you have any questions, like the video too if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel. It helps us out a lot. We want to keep making this content for you guys each and every single day. Breaking news, everything, fantasy. You name it, we do it if it's football related. So that's all we got today. I'm going to get things over to Mason. And Mason, you already know what you're going to say.
Yeah, guys, first off, before I do my normal thing, please give us some start-sit options. Give us some stuff. We will break it down, okay? We're getting sick of just going through all the fantasy leagues we're in and looking at all our teams, all our league teams, and be like, oh, this is who they should start, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I'm going to get on with it. Fantasy few out, baby. Let's go. Flex Friday.